Hello everyone and welcome to the Album Afterlife, a monthly music podcast where we discuss your favourite albums from a creative perspective. And at the end of the episode we'll reveal next month's album, hosted by me, Nahren.
And me, Jazz.
If you like what you're listening to and want to know more about us and the artists mentioned in today's episode, our handle on TikTok and Instagram is at the Album Afterlife. If you'd prefer to watch the episode, we are also available on YouTube. Just search the Album Afterlife. Just a disclaimer before we start, the Album Afterlife is not affiliated or in partnership with any music publishing company, social media page, or in relation to any artist and their respective label mentioned in today's episode, nor are we being paid to share our thoughts and opinions, which may include representing an artist positively or negatively, as well as any secondary or tertiary, sorry, I can't pronounce that word, artists mentioned. All the opinions stated are unique to each host, and although we may state facts and figures, please do not take any of them as concrete, factual, or wholly accurate. Please use any metrics mentioned as a time relative source. Things change, I change, he changes, we all change. So, yeah, you're now listening to the Album Afterlife, where on today's episode, we will be discussing Olivia Rodrigo's sophomore album, Guts, after the success of her first album, Sour, which, you know, won her many Grammys, and she also performed at Glastonbury, not the main stage, but the other stage, which is the second biggest stage in Glastonbury. So she got a lot of accolades and a lot of praise for her first album. Is her sophomore album, where she digs deeper into her riot-girl, pop punk vibes more that she started on her first album, but still keeping in touch with the ballads that she did on Sour as
She's
well.
basically Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, basically.
I was like, Avril Lavigne is here? Whoa.
Yeah, I know,
Come
but
on now,
it's
what's going
good.
on?
Well, I think it was good.
When you mentioned it was going to be Olivia Rodrigo, the second you said it was going to be like something new, I thought, okay, I don't know. But then I realised, hey, this bitch purchased tickets to go see Olivia Rodrigo. It can't be any other artist but Olivia Rodrigo. And my initial thought was, look, I can't be asked to hear the album because I'm going to hear the album on TikTok, and it's going to be, every track is going to be on TikTok as a trend on its whole separate thing. So eventually I'm going to hear every single song. But I actually didn't really get a lot of Olivia Rodrigo on my TikTok recently. Like, I got Vampire and I got Bad Idea, right? That was the only two I got. And I was like, oh, all these other songs I've never ever heard. And when it came out, I was like, okay, I expect a little bit more. But I haven't really heard a lot about the album. I feel like Sour definitely had more. And for this being like the younger brother of Sour, I was expecting a lot more for this album.
You mean
media-wise, media coverage-wise.
Right.
I don't really get a lot of that. I just got sort of like, here are two songs, and this is it. This is the album. But, you know, it's still in its like early days. She could be releasing a single, like she could be making a song into a single soon. You never ever know.
Well, she actually released the third single, which I'm assuming it's a single because it was attached to a music video. So, like, I'm assuming it is for Getting Back.
Oh, yeah, Getting Back.
Which was right after...
When was that?
Her album dropped, like the day after the album dropped, she released a music video. So, but that's kind of the opposite for me, because I have been seeing trends for I pay attention to things that most people ignore. That's been a trend, and also the screaming in All American Bitch, like when people going into all the time. Sorry for my horrible singing. That's been a trend too. But I do know I've been seeing a lot, but maybe that's because I've been following her. Yeah. Like I have her, obviously follow her on Instagram. I've been like, when the album first came out, I was like, because you know the algorithm, I was liking a lot of stuff related to the album, so maybe that's why I've been seeing a lot. Yeah. But yeah,
I feel like throughout this whole album, I've just been comparing it to Sour, because it is just like Olivia Rodrigo tries to like, she cemented herself as like a pop rock artist, like that's who she is, and I feel like she stuck to that genre. A lot of like pop artists these days will just go and do completely like, they try to merge a lot of things into one, where it sort of becomes chaotic, like, oh, what like genre do you fall in? But I feel like Olivia Rodrigo, she's tried to like cement herself in a genre, like Avril Lavigne.
Yeah. When it came to Sour, I did enjoy Sour, but it was really ballad heavy, I think. I think the points that I enjoyed in Sour was the pop punk moments. So Brutal was one of my favorites, and Good for You. Sorry, I was singing it, and then and Good For You were my favourite points on that album. And then on a lesser scale, but still one of my favourites, Jealousy. But
I like Jealousy.
But the like the ballad portions wasn't really, like, I'm not really a ballad person. So to hear her develop her like riot-girl pop punk elements on this album, I was really here for it, and I really liked it a lot more than Sour, I think, which, I don't know, I feel like shouldn't be controversial, because I think a lot of people are saying it, but also a lot of people are saying they prefer Sour, which is fine, because I guess it is nostalgic for especially the like teenagers who are like growing up with her. I can understand that, like liking an older album more. But yeah, I think it's a lot better than like Sour, lyrically, like musically, like just everything. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this album.
I'm gonna take what you said and just carry on. I feel like Sour, it was so popular to the point where I was like, every song I've heard 17,000. I mean, there's not really a lot of songs on the album on Sour itself, but it was like, I've heard the song several thousand times. I'm bored of it now. And for a newer album like Guts, where you don't really hear a lot of it, well, I didn't hear a lot of it, I had more of a connection to it, because I was like, I haven't heard anyone talking about this. It's actually pretty interesting. So I feel like I definitely prefer this one over Sour. But I'll give Sour, look, I'm not an Olivia Rodrigo fan at all. I don't really care for the woman, in fact, until I was listening to the songs and I was like, you know what? I really wanted to hate the album. I really wanted to go in there being like, this album sucks, so much shit. But unfortunately, there's nothing bad that I can say, to an extent.
To an extent. We'll get into it.
Yeah, but I just have to give Olivia Rodrigo the credit that she deserves, because, I mean, she's not that old at all, and she's grown. Well, she's obviously from Disney and stuff. She's got the Disney fame. But just to be that young and be in the industry and have to grow up in the industry is crazy. Yeah. So I can't really hate on her for anything. Yeah. Because she's not the worst name.
And I think she is.
I really wanted to hate on the album. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I think she really is talented. I do. So yeah. And we'll discuss a little bit about the album artwork. Not that there's much to discuss. It's similar, like in the same vein as Sour's album artwork, where it's just a picture of her and then the words, not in a text, but like somewhere in the picture. Yeah. I know a lot of people online anyway were like kind of upset because the first thing we got was the album artwork, and people were upset that it wasn't a completely different like era shift. Like in comparison, I don't want to do this because Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo have like a bit of a thing, and I'm not comparing them, but a lot of different artists, when they're doing a new album, it's like a whole new, like, they reinvent themselves.
Yeah. Especially like women as well. Like,
I feel like they have to do that.
Have to do it, which is crazy. Same with like Dua Lipa, for example. She reinvented herself to do a little disco moment. Yeah, exactly. So I think people were upset that it wasn't completely different. Like, this purple was still there. But I do think this is the last album we're going to get from her where the purple motif will still be there, because it was going into like black. Yeah. I mean, I do get that, because like even like the like text on the thing as well. In Sour, it was her tongue out, and then on her, she got like rings on it. Is it rings?
Yeah.
She had rings on, and it was like sort of the same thing. So I get that, but also at the same time, she's trying to cement herself in a genre, which is completely fine to do.
Exactly.
Like,
it's
she
like,
knows who she is.
You know, like Ed Sheeran, for example, hasn't had to reinvent himself at all.
Yeah.
And you know, he's still kept his motifs of like numbers, like equations, which is done now, but like that was his brand for a very long time, and people just saw him as like a talented songwriter, which he is, even though there is some like, you know, he has gone a bit more pop than he was originally. But yeah, you know.
And also, as I was saying, it's like a sequel to the first album, so it's fine if the themes are the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Right, let's get on to the album itself.
Yeah.
We'll start off with the first track. By the way, the album itself was produced by Dan Nigro.
Yeah.
Very, very talented guy. And you also have Alexander 23, who is also on some of the tracks. I think he says a line in one of the songs, but yeah, we'll carry on. We'll start off with the first song, which is An All-American Bitch. So I'll let you go over that.
Yeah, okay. So All-American Bitch is like a juxtaposing, in terms of instrumentals, song. It sets the tone for the album. So you have like the quiet verses, and then the loud chorus, and then the build-up. And it talks about, it's a very sarcastic song, and it talks about how women have to present themselves as a certain way where really they feel angry sometimes, like they're allowed to feel like that, but they can't present themselves like that. I view it like on a next level, not just as like womanhood in general, but also like the Asian American experience, because she's, or like just first generation immigrants, because she's half Filipino. So to me, it especially with lines like I know my place and this is it, and just like how in particular Asian women are like always viewed, and the stereotype is always viewed as like they're quiet, submissive, like do what they're told kind of thing, when really they can have like an angry streak. That's how I saw that song anyway. It is one of my favorites on the album. I really like just like her vibes, her screams. I think it fits her really well. Yeah, those are my
I agree.
thoughts.
I think the way like I think it just sets the album once again. I think it just, if there was a song on the whole album, that would be the album itself. It would just be this album, because she sort of goes into everything about this album. In the song about this album, there's a part of like her being like homeschooled, and it just talks about her being like in America, not really fitting in, and that's sort of the theme that you get through the whole entire album. There's like another song that just has like lines about her being homeschooled. I think it's like something about social anxiety. I think the way she said in the interview that she really liked songs that like pull you in and then push you out again, like, so you have all the screaming, you have all of like the quiet verses, and I think just the intro as well, it's giving very much American Steakhouse Outback vibes. You know what I mean? Like the little guitar, the acoustic guitar. It just sets everything up. So I'm just like, wow, I'm really sitting in like, you know, a county, and I'm just like, in jail. So yeah, it's actually a really good start to the album. I really liked the guitar. I like how it throws you out there. I like how loud it is. And also obviously the most pop part where she's like, all the time, I'm grateful all the fucking time. I like how like she uses her voice. Like you can tell a lot of artists will be very like deadbeat with how they sound just to make like a sonically cohesive sound. But I feel like Olivia Rodrigo isn't afraid to like, throw lines out there for ad-libs that are like, sarcastic. Like you can tell she's being sarcastic, where she's like, I'm grateful all the fucking time, like she's tired of the shit. But yeah, I really like the start of the album. It's a really, really strong start to the album. So yeah, proud of her.
Yeah, and like what you were saying about how some artists like just sing it, you can see that she's a performer in this. You can see that she has done acting, because it's all throughout this album, like she's just performing. Like her delivery on it is really, really good. Like you can see her influences here too. Like she said that she's grown up listening to riot-girl music, which is an American genre, and you can see like Veruca Salt, Hall, Bikini Kill, and like Alanis Morissette, who's Canadian. But yeah, you can see all these influences on here as well as her pop influences as well. But we'll get to that during other songs.
And also lyrically as well, she loves to. We'll discover this a lot. She loves using like catchphrases and throwing them in songs. Mm-hmm. You've got My Asian I Act Like It, and she talks about like the candies and stuff, and you'll see a lot of like catchphrases just being thrown in and out, which we'll discuss in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the second song is Bad Idea, Right? Which actually, when I was listening to the album, I thought it was like one whole thing, from All American Bitch to Bad Idea, right? And I was like, wait a minute, it's two damn songs, but she just has a little outro and an intro where she shuts the door and opens another door. The
transition was sweet.
The transition was really nice. I couldn't tell the transition, so that's great. We love that. And Bad Idea, Right did really, really good in the UK and the US. It actually reached 3rd in the UK and it reached 7th in the US. And it sort of continues like the story of her sort of trying to be this like perfect person for this one guy, but it doesn't obviously turn out right. And she sort of in the song talks about like going back to him, and she knows it's a bad idea. And the main idea of the song for me, it was personally like she knows it's a bad idea. She's got a lot of things going in her head, so clearly she's very, very confused, and you can tell that from the music. She's very, very, very confused. And there's a part in the song where it's like it's a guitar riff. I think it's in the bridge, and essentially it's meant to sound like a guitar when it's actually just her screaming. So well done on the producer. If it was Dan Nigro, I think it was in this track. Well done for him for sorting that out. It was really, really good.
Yeah, that kind of actually reminds me of in Somebody to Love. If you just isolate the vocals, obviously they do a lot of harmonies, Queen, and Roger Taylor, he has a really high voice, and he can go into like a falsetto. And there's a part in that where he's just like, I'm not doing it, but just goes into his falsetto and it sounds like an electric guitar. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, Bad Idea Right was the second single of the album. I really liked it. I liked it more than Vampire when I first heard it. And I think it was good that she put this one out because it introduces you, because while Vampire, which we'll get more into more detail, like kind of stuck with Sour, so like her fans weren't like too jarred about transition. The second single, Bad Idea Right, was like the other side of the album, but like a more easy intro. Like she didn't release like Ballad of a Homeschool Girl or American Bitch as a single. Yeah, I really like this song. It was my favorite out of the two singles before the album, but it's not one of my favorites off the album, but it's still really good. Like a spoken word kind of style as well, which I really like. Yeah, like you said, I mean, I don't have much. You just basically said all of the, which is fine. I've
taken all of your points.
No, you were just describing, which is what you're supposed to do with the song.
Yep.
Okay. Are we ready to move on?
Of course we are.
Okay, so the next song is Vampire, which was the first single off the album. So this song covers her looking back on a relationship and realizing that this person, all they did was use her, take from her, isolate her, and she just like is now like, now that they're over, is waking up and realizing that, you know, all they did was take and sucking her dry like a vampire. And there's a lot of speculation on who this song is about. She's had 2 famous exes, so that people think, 3, but people think it's about a certain 2.
I don't really have like a lot to say about the song. I really should, because it's like the lead single, but it really did nothing for me personally. Like I sort of heard it and I was like, okay, this is just Driver's License. The way it builds up, the way the final chorus is, the way the intro is, it's slow, builds up to the end, which is fine because Driver's License did amazing globally. But there's not really much depth to this song. Unlike her other songs that she's got, it's flat out what it's meant to be. Like I said before, this was very intentional putting this out as a first single because it's one of the songs that are most like Sour. Yeah.
So like,
I agree,
just
actually.
to like transition them into the new thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think the song is okay. It's good. It's good. Not okay. It's really good. And I really like you said, the build up. Yeah. I really like that when she's like, "You said it was true love." Like that, I really enjoy. And I really like the line that I think a lot of people skip over is "went for me and not her because girls your age know better." I really like that. I think it's like we're seeing a lot of women these days talking about how they were basically groomed when they were younger, from Rina Sawayama to Taylor Swift is a big one also. But like a lot of girls are starting to say that, and I really like that they are starting to feel comfortable talking about that. But yeah, like you said, it is Driver's License Part 2 basically.
I mean, it performed the same as Driver's License. It debuted at number 1, and it made her the first artist to have both of her first singles come out at number 1 from singles from an album debut at number 1. So she's the only artist ever to do that. So it's great. Like, well done, Olivia. You're doing that.
And I really liked her VMA performance of this.
Oh yeah,
like
people were actually fuming. They're like, "What is going on?"
I know.
I was like, guys, have you seen the music video?
Yeah. But I really liked how she set that out as well. It was good.
Cool. Song number 4.
Song number 4, Lacey.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm not a big fan of this song. So it's the first ballad because obviously
fuming about that.
Sorry, hold on. We'll get into it. The first ballad because Vampire was like kind of a ballad, but then it built up at the end. And it started off as a poem. She took some classes. I forgot at what university it was, but she took a poetry class. And in her poetry class, she wrote this as a poem, and then it developed into a song. And it's very sarcastic, very creepy. Like you can tell she's like grating especially in the second verse. And it talks about her being jealous of someone, like admiring someone, but then admiring them because she wants to be them and she's not that. And again, I take this as very like woman of color experience, like looking at a white woman who is like the beauty standard and comparing yourself and wanting to be that, thinking you're not good enough because you're not that.
Yeah.
A lot of people online has taken this as a sapphic song, so like a lesbian song.
Not really.
Which I don't see at all. And people would be like, well, you can't speak over how people like interpret it. But and it's like, that's...
Sorry, not to interrupt. Really and truly, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Really and truly, the only thing they could say is what skin like puff pastry. That's basically it.
People are saying...
Bakery.
Wait, people are saying like, she's calling her like beautiful. She's saying all these things. And I'm like, can't you see that she's being... Like, do you not have any like... Can't you analyze media? Like, you can clearly hear she's being sarcastic when she's saying that. It's not a romantic song to me. It's creepy. If someone wrote this song for me and I said, yeah, this is because I really like you and I admire you and I'm calling you beautiful, I'm like, you're very clearly like not.
No.
And like,
I agree.
And people were saying, yeah, you can't like talk over people's like interpretations. And I'm like, you don't have to, like, I don't have to talk over your interpretation. If that's how you feel like, that's how you feel like, that's fine. But first of all, dismissing other people's interpretation by saying, yeah, well, it could be both about her being a woman of colour and also her being bisexual or whatever. But also, this is not a coming out song to me. She doesn't ever come, like, and to say that of her when she's not said anything, I think is very dangerous in stan culture.
Okay. I agree with the whole point of it being like a sexual song. It's definitely not a sexual song. She's simply admiring a beautiful woman. Like, let's just leave it at that. Like, let's stop digging in stuff that doesn't need to be dug into. Like, why are we digging holes? Stop. Are you JCB? I really, really, really like the song for what it... Why are you fuming? I really like the song for what it is. I think it's a nice, like, respite to the album. We've had a lot of rock. We've had All American Bitch, which just thrown us out there. We've had Bad Idea, right, which just thrown us out there. And we've had Vampire, where we've been just left on a rocky high. I need a bit of calm, and I need it now. And I feel like Lacey is a really, really good song because it's, when I listened to it, I was like, this sounds very, very similar to Melanie Martinez. This sounds very, very... Yes, it does. If the song would have had a sponsor, it would definitely be Frutella. I feel like Frutella would eat this song up.
I can kind of see that
because it's called Lacey, and when I first listened to it, I was like, okay, like what? Strawberry laces? Like, is that what we're talking about? Because everything is sweet. I mean, she even says like dazzling starlet. Like, it's very, very like childlike kind of, where it's like talking about like ribbons in your hair, blah blah. That's why I liked it, because I was like, this is just very, very Melanie Martinez of her, and it's simply just about her admiring a beautiful woman. Which is the American standard, and it's just simply her being like, oh, I'm not going to be like, I can't be like you anyway, but I can like look up to you, which I really shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be looking up to her.
I see, that's not how I interpret it. Like, I interpret it as very
not like you should be looking up to her, but it's like, this is the American ideal, is a beautiful woman.
Yeah, for me, again, like, I don't see her like, looking up to her, yes, to a certain extent, and like calling her beautiful, yes, but also being upset at her that she is that, and she is, and Olivia or people like Olivia will never be like seen like that because they've got darker skin, they've got like darker hair, darker eyes, and they will never, and her being upset at her about that. That's how I'm seeing it. Yeah.
I mean, it also says like, there's a line where it says, I despise my rotten mind and how much it worships you. So I think she's in a way sort of like, looking up to her and being like, I wish I could be like you, but unfortunately I can't be like you, which is completely fine. Like, and I really like the way it's like, it sounds. It's such a nice, sweet song, and it's a bit of calm, which is really, really nice, and why I like it. And a lot of my favorite songs on this album have a bit of calm to them, because Too Much Noise, I was just like, no. Some of the songs are just, it's too much is going on. That's not for me personally, but I respect the grind and I respect Olivia. But sometimes the rockiness gets a bit too much.
See, we're the complete opposite. I don't like a lot of... I mean, I enjoy ballads and slow songs, and there are some that I enjoy on this. This is not one of them. This is not one of them. I don't like the song. I don't know why. Like, it's an okay song. I can understand the appeal, but I like a lot more. I like fast songs, loud songs, like, I don't know, anthemic songs.
The fifth song is Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. Now, as I was talking about how in All American Bitch she references sort of being homeschooled, she sort of carries it on in the song. It's the main part of the song actually, and it talks to her being like sort of having not having the privileges that a public school person would have. For example,
privileges.
Yeah. For example, like being in a class, speaking to everyone, and talking to people. You sort of just you experience how people are, and I feel like when you're homeschooled, you don't really have that. So to then go out and do life without speaking to a lot of people, I guess, pretty hard. She says every time I step outside, it's social suicide. Like every conversation she has, she can't carry a conversation. It's very, very weird, and she makes it weird, and she makes it like awkward as well. And this whole song is just basically about that. She once again references a lot of these quotes that she loves to do, where she says, "Cat got my tongue," which is like, great, we love that for you. But it's just in every song, and you can tell. I noticed it more when I was looking at her music. I was like, okay, you're talking about being American, then you've got all this American stuff going on. Like, it's a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got a lot of things going on. And I took a note of it, and I was like, great, now I can't stop hearing whenever she does that. I prefer a lot of like songs with like a lot of meaning into the lines, and to have like popular catchphrases be here and there, it's just like cool, cute. I just took a note of it, that's what I'm saying. Don't come for me, okay? I'm trying my hardest. It's really hard.
Okay, well...
To critique Olivia Rodrigo, by the way, what am I going to say? You're a piece of shit. No, I can't say that. Because that's rude.
Yeah, and wrong also. You don't know her personally.
Yeah, I don't know her personally. We will someday, Olivia, just so you know.
Yeah, and then she'll be like, oh, so you're the one who hates all my music.
No, I don't. Okay, I've never said that.
No, you haven't. You haven't, to be fair.
I've said that.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll actually beat you up.
Okay.
Watch. We'll scrap after this.
Okay, meet me outside. Okay, so Ballad of a Homeschool Girl, I really like it. Again, I think you can hear, again, more riot-girl into this. I enjoy it. I really like her tongue-in-cheek, which you can hear a lot. I really like the second verse where she's like talking about flirting with a guy and realising that he's gay, and like, which was a whole thing online. People were calling it homophobic. It wasn't homophobic. She was just saying that the person that she fancied and was talking to wasn't interested in women, which is like very possible to
How people trying to make it like a big thing?
Yeah,
it's actually never that deep.
It's never that deep. But anyway, and when the reviews first came out, before any of us heard it, because obviously like music critics can hear it before, they described this song as a rap song. I mean, and everyone was like, what? And everyone was like, oh my god, what? Like, not here for it, obviously, because they thought she was going to be doing like a Nicki Minaj type beat, which which would come across as offensive. I'm not saying that like anyone that's not black can't do rap, but like the way you do it, and Olivia has never done rap songs before, but it's not rap, it's like bratty,
just talking,
like talking, like bratty talking.
The only thing she says is,
wait, it wasn't this song, sorry, it was Get Him Back where they said that. But
I was gonna say the only time she actually said that was when it was like, I laughed at the wrong time, sat with the wrong guy.
Yeah, sorry. No, that was Get Him Back actually, but there is a little bit of that here, and a little bit of it in A Bad Idea, right, as well, but it's more on Getting Back. But yeah, overall, this song, really like it. I like the music. I really like how heavy it is, and I like the second verse a lot, and I don't mind Cat Got My Tongue.
I do.
Okay, so next track is Making the Bed, which is a slowed down song. It's another ballad. And it's actually one I enjoy. I think the chorus does go really hard. Like, there is like even though it's slow, there is a build up to the chorus, which I
thought
really
we hated
enjoy.
slow songs. What happened?
I don't hate them. I just prefer fast songs, but I do like the song. And she talks about how she is placing herself as a victim in certain situations, and that's how she's viewing herself. But at the end of the day, she's the one. From her point of view, she's the one who's put herself in those situations, and she's the one who's created these situations. So she's making the bed.
Yeah, which is what? Oh, yet another catchphrase that she's used.
Yeah, and it's an analogy.
The thing is, no, I get it. No, the thing is,
that's how people write.
The thing is, it sounds like I hate the song. This is like one of my favorite songs on this album, if not like the second favorite song on the album, because sort of kind of applies to me, low-key, because I've been on this whole, like, oh, I hate everyone phase. I really don't understand everyone. I just want to be left alone. But that in itself just leads to a point where I'm just like, great, now I have, like, basically no one, but I've basically made the bed for me to lie in. And so it's a very, very good song that applied to me, because I was like, wow, I can see
yourself in it.
I can see myself in the song. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. So I do really, really enjoy the song. I love how slow it is, and I love how it just sounds. It's a really, really nice song, and the message of it behind so it's really good. Like, she's basically finding herself by kind of ruining herself. She's doing all of these things, but she thinks it's helping her when really and truly it's not helping her. But obviously you can't see that when you're in the situation. You're just like, I think this is going to help me, but when you look at it down the line,
it didn't help.
It didn't help, no. But you won't know that. But you know what? That's what life's all about. You know, you got to just learn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, decent song. I actually really, really enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah. And I really like her use of the word fair weather.
The 7th song is Logical. Can you please start this one?
Okay, so this is Logical, another ballad, co-written by... So most of the album is written by Dan and Olivia, but this one was co-written by Julian Michaels, who also did Levitating by Dua Lipa and did Sorry by Justin Bieber and like loads of other songs. So yeah, she's co-written on this. Logical is basically a song about how she says like love is never logical, and she goes through all these examples of why it's not. One of them is 2 + 2 = 5, which a lot of people cringed at. Like, a lot of people online were like, oh my God, that's such a cringe line. But I just think it's not that cringe, because it is, her point is that is illogical to think of. I really like the bridge. The song itself is okay overall. Like, it's not one of my favorites. It's not up there. But I really enjoy the bridge. I really like the bridge of the song. Go on.
I hate, and I hate 2 + 2 = 5.
It's not cringe.
No, I cannot stand it.
She also says the sky is red.
Huh? That's fine, because you're painting...
The sky is red. That's what she says.
No, is it? Well, listen. What I was gonna say is, I love. You know, I was talking about her voice. I love when she says "falls from the February sky." Mm-hmm. Right? That is cute. It's nice. It's wonderful. Then she gets to 2 + 2 = 5.
What do you hate about that?
Listen.
Why is that?
I agree with every single prick who said it's cringy. The song would have been immaculate. I really, really like the song, but I cannot get over 2 + 2 = 5, because it's just
that song. It's just that line.
It's just that one line. The song is good in itself. It's just 2 + 2 = 5. And when I heard it, I was like, I now can't unhear it, because unfortunately, it's going to grate my ears for the rest of existence. I just cannot deal with 2 + 2 = 5. I think there was so much that could have been done.
But she's saying but you get the point she's making, though.
6 + 10 is 55, right?
But people say 2 + 2 = 4.
No.
When they're saying like, oh, it's obvious.
No, I don't like it. I really, it's so in the song.
I am a defender of this line.
It is such like an important part of the song, where it's just like, we could have had so much going on, but unfortunately 2 + 2 has to = 5. It has to = 5. Like, why? Olivia, why? Why would you do this? Why?
But she's making a point. She also says, this is the line I was looking for. The sky is green, the grass is red.
Yeah, okay, but that's...
Do you know what I mean? That's part of the point she's making.
No, but that's fine, because the way she said it, it goes in the song. Like, I didn't take note of it because it goes in the song.
You mean it doesn't flow?
Yeah, but now it's like, you got me thinking 2 + 2 = 5. Like, what? Like, what? It's in such a key part of the song, where it's like, if this was in a verse, absolutely fine. But it's in the pre-chorus / chorus of the whole thing.
It's in the chorus,
It's in the chorus. Like, it's such a, like... Olivia, man, what... the only thing I had for this was that it's a little respite from the album. Like, we get a little break a little bit, right, here and there.
But you said you enjoy the rest of the song.
Huh? Yeah, but
that line ruins it.
Yeah, it's just that. But it bumps it down a little bit, unfortunately, because I cannot listen and enjoy the song. People really
hate that line.
I cannot sit here and enjoy the song when I hear 2 + 2 = 5. I can't do that. Oh, you maths? Is this maths? Oh, is this maths?
But she's making a point.
I know. But she also says the grass is green, the grass is red, the fucking shoes are red, right? The green are, I don't even know what she says, right? But
the grass.
Yeah, but it's just,
the sky is green, the grass is red.
It's just so much. Like, I can't do 2 + 2 = 5. I'm so sorry, Olivia. That's the worst of this whole album. That's the bottom. That's the lowest part of this album.
That line.
Super equals fine. That line. Low-key, this song, because it brings it down. Anyway, I'm fuming and I'm done.
Okay,
but
moving
Falls
on.
from the February Sky is really cute and nice. I like the way she says that. So, song number 8 is Get Him Back, which if I told you was going to be from the High School Musical 5 soundtrack, you would say, yeah, you'd agree.
Shut up. No way.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. Yes. I'm going to lunge at you.
Why? Why are we lunging at me? Don't
also,
lunge at me.
I bop High School Musical songs, so I don't know what you're talking. They're very well written.
I know. I'm not saying this is badly written. I'm just saying if you were to tell me
that
it would
was
be in the
you
next High School Musical film,
that.
I'm just saying it sounds like if we were gonna break out into song, it would be Get Him Back. If someone's had a breakup,
but you could say it's anthemic, which is what I've written. It's an anthemic song, like we are never ever getting back together. It's meant to be an anthem.
Why are you taking a negative line? I'm just saying
because that's what you were implying.
No, I'm
anyway,
not.
carry on.
No, I'm not doing that, unfortunately.
Carry on.
No, I'm just saying if you were going to tell me, hey, we've got a song for the new High School Musical soundtrack, it's going to be Get Him Back, I'd say yeah, of course. But why? Because Olivia was involved in the High School Musical, the series, the musical, the soundtrack, the evening, the morning of. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Okay, carry on. Yeah.
This song is about It's sort of the same as like Bad Idea, right? Where it just describes her confusion a little bit more. She's very, very confused. And it's sort of about her being like, I want to get this guy back. But there's a part of it which is like, had me on the edge because she was like, I want to get him back. I want to key his car. I want to do this, that, other. But she's like, I want him back as well. And it was like, okay. So there's a little bit of underlying message in here. Like, you want to get him back. But also, do you think getting him back basically would mean make you closer to him? Do you know what I mean?
Kind of. Okay, the whole... Sorry, go on, carry on.
No, I'm like done.
No, carry on if you have other... Okay, well, we'll carry on. But it's a double entendre, basically, all of it. It's like, I want to get him back in terms of, I want to get him back and be in a relationship with him, or I want to get him back as in, I want to seek revenge, I want to get him back. Yeah. Like, and that's her confusion, like you were saying. So that's really shown in the bridge as well, when she's like, I want to key his car, I want to make him lunch, I want to break his heart, I want to stitch it right back up.
She wants that sweet revenge.
Yeah. So like, I want to do nice things for him, but I also want to get him back because he made me laugh. He did nice things for me. Like, he took me on holiday. Like, he did all these things, but also he hit on my friends. He ignored me. He like cheated on me is implied here as well. So I want to get him back in terms of like, I want to seek revenge. I really like this song. This is what I was talking about, where they said this was a rappy song, but it's more like spoken word, like bratty rap, if you could call it that, which I wouldn't. But it's really good. I really enjoy it. It's like I said, it's anthemic, so it's meant to be like a we are never ever getting back together, shake it off, and I really enjoy it. It's a high point on the album. Some people's favorites, which I can see. And I really like the song. And I like the double entendre of it all. The next track is Love is Embarrassing, which is, I think, the shortest track on this album. It's basically about her saying that she has done all these things in a relationship for someone who's not really worth it, and that's embarrassing on her end. And I really, really enjoy this track. I know quite a few like reviewers have like put it, again, don't listen to reviewers, we're not reviewers, but quite a lot of people who have reviewed this album have kind of put it low down, like basically the last one, which I think is grossly unfair. Like, I really enjoy it. I think it gives off the whole album. People say like, oh, it's a very like 90s early 2000s movie soundtrack, but I hear it here more than any other album. I really like the song. I really like how when she gets high, like in her voice, when she goes like, I place my bets and it don't mean anything. I really enjoy that. I also like her delivery when she goes near the end, when she goes, love's fucking embarrassing. Like, I really like how she plays with the song.
It's the sort of, is that something, as you were saying, where you can tell she's an actor because the way she says lines, you know, as well as like she's very, very sarcastic when it comes to the like end as well, where she's like, I give it up. Like it's like all the time, grateful all the fucking time. That you can just tell she's an actress. I actually do really like the song. I think it has a lot going for it.
Yeah.
And I think listening back, it reminded me of, if any of you guys have heard Yuck by Charlie XCX, she sort of discusses like having feelings for someone, and it's like, just that feeling of having like feeling of someone is nasty itself. But I think this is like on the opposite end, where like she's done all of these things, and all for it to go down the drain, she's sort of embarrassed. So yeah, love is basically embarrassing. And she's just like comparing herself to like someone else, where she goes like, you found a new version of me. And you get that a lot in her, like in this whole album. She's just been comparing herself to other women.
So it's like the reality,
it's
of a lot of people.
And the important thing to know is actually there's a little guitar riff in the chorus, right? If someone wants to make a remix of All American Bitch, or a mashup between the two songs, this one, All American Bitch, they could do that, because there's a really good guitar riff, and it basically has the exact same melody as an All American Bitch. So if you guys want to do that, do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just making a joke out of like love, but she's making a joke out of like having feelings for someone, and like, and I actually really, really enjoy it. I don't have like a lot to say about it, because it's just like a really good song. Song number 10 is The Grudge, arguably the most balladesque song. Oh, I'm making new words. Balladesque song of the entire album, and it basically just like talks about the reality of living a relationship and holding a grudge. It just talks about having a grudge, really and truly, because she says like, you know, she has arguments in the shower, she has arguments in the car and in the mirror, which, you know, I have arguments all the time in the shower.
I was gonna say, me too.
I'm always fuming in the shower.
She's like rehearsing them.
Yeah, she knows that rehearsing them. And I think, you know, her people, which is yet another quote that she's used. Cute. But yeah, I don't have the most to say about the song, because it is such a slow song, but it just sort of discusses like having a grudge against someone, and like wanting to like get back at them, but you can't, because it's like you're trying to hold like yourself together and holding a grudge. Kind
of the same, like basically all you said. I don't really have much to say about the song. I did write it's me coded because I hold grudges.
I can't relate that much because I don't really hold grudges. I just don't care.
Yeah. I hold grudges. And the line about like rehearsing in the mirror and like rehearsing your arguments is like also very me. I did, yeah, and he also did like drama. We did drama, and like she's an actress. Maybe it's like linked as well. Someone on YouTube said that. Two Gay Mats, if you see them, they said that, and I was like, why is that so true? And there's some banger lines in there, like those cuts were never equal. Like we both drew blood, but those cuts were never equal. Really like that.
#vampire.
And also the line, your flowers filled with vitriol. Why did I think that was your flowers filled with betrayal? I thought it was betrayal, not vitriol. But
I heard the word victory in there. I don't know where. Right. If I was with a victory something. But yeah, betrayal was a good one, actually.
Yeah, I thought you
should be on her writing team.
I think vitriol's better than your flowers filled with betrayal. But yeah.
I like betrayal. Betrayal's cute. Song number 11 is Pretty Isn't Pretty. I love this song. This song is... Excuse me. I love the song so much. This song is just...
Before you go on, co-written by Amy Allen, who did Adore You by HS, Without Me by Halsey, and a lot of other songs. Also,
the song previously was also co-produced by Ian Kirkpatrick, who did Don't Start Now and all that jazz. Okay, Pretty Isn't Pretty. I absolutely love the meaning. She talked about society. She talked about her like looking up to someone being someone like pretty girls, right? And this song is just that. This song simply talks about the fact that the beauty standard is so high, but even if you try to be as pretty as you possibly can, you physically cannot get there because pretty isn't pretty.
It's always changing.
It's always changing. And there will never be a part where you're pretty. And this is just basically like an All-American Bitch part 2. Where she discussed, here's all these pretty American bitches. And I can't even be like them because the second I get to them, hey, all of a sudden the beauty standard has changed. And like she talks about like where being pretty is like everywhere around her. It's like in the magazines and newspapers, in the
boys she brings to bed.
Yeah. And she can't escape it because everyone's keeping it up. It's just like a relatable song, really and truly, for everyone, because everybody sort of struggles with the beauty standard. Like people just don't think they're pretty enough, which they are. You guys are really pretty, but people just struggle with it. And again, I love it because it relates to me as well. Like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I feel like shit today. Like in today's podcast, my hair is not it. My hair is crazy, but no one's gonna realize. So it's a lot of like the spotlight theory as well, where it's like you sort of think everyone's here like watching you, but like no one really cares. Like,
yeah, everyone's got their own thing going on.
So it's like you can't have it both ways. Like you can't be pretty because everyone's focused on like themselves. So that's that. What were you saying about it?
Sorry, I like Roll My Eyes at the start, but that's just because it's not like one of my favorites. But it's not it's not a bad song at all. I think like the melody of it's not so much. It's like slow, but it's not like a ballad. I would not class it as a ballad. And it's kind of giving me like movie vibes as well. Like you would hear it over like a montage or something. Like you basically said it all, like feeling insecure, not feeling like she can meet up to the standards. But like we said, the standards are always changing. Like like in the early 2000s it was like, oh, you had to be skinny, like size 0, and then when it got to like the 2010s you had to have like a bit of a bum but like still a skinny waist. Like,
and it's constantly changing. So like a subject that a lot of people have written about because it like hits a lot of people. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It's just again not one of my favorites, but it's a good song overall. And the last track on the album, which we are going to be discussing, is Teenage Dream, which is one of my favorites, even though it is, again, starts off as a ballad. But it is one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it when I first listened to it. It basically talks about how she thinks that she's peaked too early, and if it's like this is it, and she's only gonna like get worse from here. And when are people gonna start saying things like, "Oh, you're so like good for your age," and just like acknowledge her as like, oh, like, well, you're just a good artist in general, like not for your age, just in general. And the ending of this also reminds me very much of Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever, with the build up, and when it's like they all say that and then it goes boom, and then that kind of reminds me of the end of Happier Than Ever. I was going to say, good that you mentioned Billie Eilish. It just reminded me of one of her songs called Getting Older, which has the sort of exact same thing, which is actually a really good and sad song. It's the exact same message. I feel like it's sort of like, what's that word when it's like, it's good and bad at the same time?
Good and bad.
It's like, it's a word, just so we know. It's a word. But it's like, it just talks about like her wanting to be like old, like she wants to be wise. Like when is she going to stop being, what's the line? It's like, when am I going to start being wise beyond my years and just start being wise? Yeah. Like she talks about like her, especially being young and in the spotlight in the music industry, it's a lot of, you sort of have to grow up really quickly. You're expected to do a lot of things when you're only 17, 18, which is very, very young. How I took it was like, she doesn't want to get old. She still wants to have her like teenage dream, but it hasn't come yet. So it's like she has no choice but to like grow up and be old. And it's sort of like gets the whole album. It sort of ends the album really well because it's like, I've been through being an American, I've been through looking at pretty girls, I've been through being that American bitch, and like I've come to the realization I'm gonna have there's no American dream here to be had.
So now we're just gonna be doing like closing thoughts and like best song of the track, worst song of the track, and then our personal favorite.
Before we do that, can I just say I was told someone asked me why we don't give ratings for albums.
Just not our place.
Yeah, really. I was gonna say, for me to say, oh, this album's horrific, it's a 5. It's just a blanket term because there are songs that I really, really enjoy, and like songs that I don't necessarily enjoy. But that doesn't mean the whole album itself is a 5 or a 4 or a 3.
Yeah,
it just simply means I will take out songs that I like and I'll put them in my playlist, which is. But yeah, shall I start off the favorite songs?
Yeah, go on.
I thought we've already established this, but my favorite song on the album is "Pretty Isn't Pretty." I love it for the song, I love it for the meaning, and I love it for the way it sounds sonically. It's really, really nice and really, really smooth. And my second favorite song is "Love Is Embarrassing," which is honestly like really, really good. I have nothing bad to say about it. The riff as well, the way she says stuff, the way the song means, it's just really, really nice. And it's just like "Yuck" by Charlie XCX, which you should all listen to. So yeah. Anyway, go
on. My favorite tracks is "All American Bitch" or if we're doing one, "Love Is Embarrassing." Like. Either or. Yeah. I really like them. I think the best song, like what you would say is the best song, is "Get Him Back," personally. Yeah. And then the one that I don't like the most, my least favourite, is "Lacy."
Oh, the one I don't like the most is "Logical." 2 + 2 = 4. Let's just stick with that. Okay?
That's it.
And let's never ever include anything like that.
And yeah, and overall, this album was good. I really liked it. I loved it much more than Sour. I mean, I'm going to go see her live. I really enjoyed it. So
I'll book tickets to Manchester. She has dates in Manchester. I'll book and I'll go.
Yeah, you do love Manchester. And
pay £10,000 for rail tickets.
Yeah, honestly. Now it's George's turn this month to pick the album that we're going to be listening to and recording a podcast next month. So if you want, and in terms of me knowing, I don't know what he's going to pick at all. So he has like people he stands, like Dua Lipa, Azealia Banks, and like a few others. So I keep on like saying, is it going to be like one of the classics, like one of them? But he keeps on saying they're going to come. So I don't think it's going to be them. So I don't know.
Okay, are you ready? This was a straight out like morning decision that I made. I had a bunch of artists and I realized that, hey, this is coming soon. So I was like, you know what? Let's include it in today. Why not? So I was going to do an album that wasn't going to come out until a few days in November. But unfortunately that album did get delayed. So it's not going to come out until December the 8th. So it's unfortunately very, very sad. But that didn't stop me from thinking we can do another album, which also hasn't come out.
Oh.
And so
that's exciting.
I know. So we've already been to the UK. We've just discussed Back to Back by Amy Winehouse. We've gone back to the US. We're going to come back to the UK again.
Okay.
And we're going to be doing Heaven Knows by Pink Pantheress, which is a new album coming out very, very soon.
That's really exciting.
I'm really excited
I'm excited for that.
I'm really excited.
Is her debut album?
I think she had like a mixtape.
She
had to help with it.
EP?
Yeah,
EP?
kind of. But this is like her first
full-length album.
Yeah. I'm expecting...
Which is going to be 10 minutes long.
Honestly, it's going to be 10 one-minute tracks, 10 minutes long. You know what? Get that stream. Get those streams, Pink Pantheress. Get those streams.
Honestly, she's an icon at that, though. I do love a short song.
I know. So. I'm really excited for it. I'm actually
me too.
very, very thrilled. I'm really, really ready for it. And I hope she can deliver
when is it out? Did you say?
It's like November 8th.
Okay.
10th, early
Quite
November.
early on.
So we do have time to go for it, but that'll be for next. So yeah, Heaven Knows, Pink Pantheress, coming for your December episode. So yeah, that has been the Album Afterlife episode 2.
I hope you enjoyed.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, you can always follow our social media. And we will see you guys when we review Heaven Knows by Pink Pantheress on the 1st of December 2023.
See you then.
Cool. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.